to the PT. Although we will bring the PT in and say hello. Peter.
Hello.
PBT.
Yeah, MG. How are you?
I won't give away the B.
Why? Everybody knows it's Brooks.
Peter Brooks. What's up?
Right. Yeah. It's not that for Brooks Robinson either. I think it's a family name in there, but it's not peanut butter. You know what? If that's what you're thinking.
All right. By the way, we announced earlier, PT, Flyers hockey on the radio, 97.3 ESPN, WPG Talk Radio 1450 will come together to bring Flyers hockey down the shore. I know that's exciting for you. You're a big puck head.
I've been waiting for that announcement for a long time. I think that's just fantastic. It's been so long since hockey fans down here have been able to hear the Flyers on a regular basis, in a strong signal that 50,000 watt FM or even WPG, a good AM, get it in here. Come on. And I know you had my boy Coatsy on earlier, Stephen J. Coates Incorporated, just a great guy, a great ambassador for that team. They had a alumni deal at the skate zone this past weekend. I know you were busy with A-Shore activities and World Series titles and all that, but Schultze and Proper and the Hound Kelly and Ian Perrier and all those guys, it's kind of like a page out of what the Phillies have done for years with their fantasy baseball camp, like where guys get to go put on a big league uniform. They had a big deal at the skate zone, a 3-day weekend affair, and boy, I know there was one guy that came up from Florida just because he knew that he'd get to be on the ice with Bernie Perrant. Like, how cool is that?
Really cool. Bernie is a guy I've met a couple times. He's just a great dude, just to kind of have a couple conversations. You love to sit down and have a couple cocktails with him, but normally the settings I see him are in Flyers events, and he's always a very engaging guy.
He's just wonderful. Yes, Mike, it is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. That's what he was supposed to say.
By the way, I want to announce our next Flyers ticket winner while we are talking about the Flyers a little bit, and that is Dan Wagner. Dan Wagner, you just won a pair of tickets to the Flyers opener against the Tampa Bay Lightning on the 8th of October. Congratulations to Dan Wagner. If somebody knows Dan, let him know to call us at 609-573-3776. Dan Wagner. Lower level seats for opening night for Dan. And Jason Downey won earlier. And I don't remember the name from the 3 o'clock hour, but that guy won too.
Well, that's great. That's giving away Flyers. That's just, listen to how good 97.3 ESPN FM is right now, right? Who's the home of the Eagles? You're supposed to answer.
Fill me in.
Who's the home of the Eagles? You are, right?
Yes.
Who's the home of the Sixers? You are. Yep. Who's the home of the Flyers? Yep. You are. Come on. It doesn't get any better than that.
No, and that's one of the great things is all the teams are now covered, and obviously one's missing, but hey, right now we're working on that. We'll one day we'll have everything going for us. But PT, I was on vacation last week. I missed you, man, and I know you were on vacation the week before. But everything's happening here. We had. Everything's kind of rolling into place. We're getting ready for the football season, and we got Tebow and Barkley. We saw Bradford the other night. The Eagles preseason is in full swing. We're going to be talking about real games pretty soon. The summer's ending, but this is the busy time of the year. This is what we live for in the sports world.
It sure is. I was at the opener for training camp on August 2nd, and then I took off for a little bit. As you know, I took that long trip out to San Diego and Phoenix and watched the Phillies sweep in San Diego. But with the Eagles, I'll tell you what, I don't know if it was a dirty hit or not, but it certainly has moved the needle for the last couple of days. Did you think it was dirty?
Look, if you watch the video, you could go either way. He went low. He didn't need to go low, but the low that he went, it didn't look maliciously low.
But it scares me that now the league and that Dean Blandino is basically saying that, yeah, that's a legal hit. So, sure, now it makes me worry about Bradford's health even more.
Yeah, that's something that Chip Kelly talked about a lot yesterday, that, hey, it was a handoff. This isn't like him running the football. This isn't a design run. There was a lot of semantics, I think, kind of in the conversation as to whether or not whether he was legal to be hit or not. But, hey, that's what Chip Kelly kind of this offense opens it up to that happening.
It sure does. And, I mean, I guess today they just announced that D'Amico Ryans probably is going to be ready for the opener, which is really no surprise. Have D'Amico Ryans and Ryan Howard have a symposium on how long it takes.
Yeah, it's been 10 months since that happened, and I think you're right, Pete. I think they saw him at camp and said, look, he's just not ready. He's not the guy we thought. And I think that really helped Kendricks get that extension because there was a lot of talk that he'd be out of here. But, I'm happy to see that Kendricks got that deal.
I do remember that was the quote Chip gave on the opening day at training camp about Michael Kendricks. Michael Kendricks isn't going anywhere. You can put that down in pen, pencil, ink, whatever, tattoo it, whatever you have to do. He's not going anywhere. So, and sure enough, that proved to be right.
I know, PT, you were down You were down in Rehoboth last weekend. Was that where Breakfast on Broad was?
Yeah, we were down at the Green Turtle in Rehoboth, and that was an interesting. You're right in that hodgepodge of there's Redskins fans and there's Orioles fans and there's Nats fans, and it's not true one way or the other. So it was certainly a challenge for us as we wanted to talk about Eagles and Chase Utley being traded and stuff like that. But what was also fun is on the cable in the hotel, you could watch Comcast Sports Mid-Atlantic or you could watch CSN Philly. So I got to kind of bounce between Redskins pregame live and watch them talk about what I think is going to be an awful team.
Yeah.
RG3 got a concussion that night, and they just look. I mean, they have. You and I could play tight end for the Redskins right now. That's how strapped they are at the tight end position. So,
I'm a little short.
All right.
I'm a little short for tight end, right?
You got good hands. I'm more like a guard. I know. You want me on you need me on that O line. But it was fun to watch the comparison of the two channels. And then tomorrow, what is today? Tuesday. So Thursday we shoot some prep work, and Friday is our last Breakfast on Broad. We're going to be at the Laguna Grill over there in Brigantine. So folks,
that's a good spot.
Listening audience, by all means, come out and see Jillian Neely and myself live from 6 to 8 as we do our last one, because then we're going to do a best of for Labor Day weekend, because everybody wants to have Labor Day weekend off. Absolutely.
So this Friday you could see PT and the Breakfast on Broad crew over at the Laguna Grill in Brigantine, which is one of the hidden gems of South Jersey over there at Brigantine Island.
Oh, yeah. Well, and the people, it's funny, the secret gets out. You can drive on the beach. Yeah, we know. Like, we live here. We know. But it's, I just always try to get my Brigantine points when I say, like, yeah, I've been to the Rod and Reel, which is long since been closed. But, I try to get my local card, chink. Yep, I've been there. It's like talking about the old Maloney's in Margate. Sure, I put my hand on the ceiling. There you go. You get a point.
Hey, by the way, I know a lot of times we like to kind of go off the beaten path with some things here. We like to have a little bit of fun. But the other day, I think we haven't talked for like 2 or 3 weeks, but when we did, it was at the PGA, and Tiger was absolutely horrendous. He looked like he was a semblance of himself this week until he kind of fell apart the last day there. But, it gave you a little glimmer of hope that there might have been something left in the tank there.
Yeah, he certainly knocked the ball around well. That was in Charlotte down there. And I'll tell you what's interesting is that's probably the one time I wasn't rooting for Tiger, because the guy that had the 54-hole lead is a guy named Jason Gore, who I covered in Omaha and became friends with in Omaha, and quite frankly cracked a few cold ones in Omaha back in the day. And so I was really rooting for that Jason Gore to win the golf tournament. He didn't. However, even by finishing sole second, he made it into the playoffs, Jason Gore did, and he secured his PGA card for the following year. So, all the papers will show, or all the headlines will show, is that 51-year-old Davis Love III is the fourth oldest PGA winner. And, hey, all props to him. He put up a score and then had to sit for an hour and wait and see if it held up. But to me, I was really pulling for this guy, Jason Gore, who once was known as the Prince of Pinehurst. He famously was leading the U.S. Open after 3 rounds when it was at Pinehurst. I guess that was 2005 was that year, and just absolutely effed the bed, in the final round. In fact, he and Retief Goosen were in that final round, and Gore shot an 83 and Goosen shot an 81. That's how bad they were that year in the final round. So, you got to root for a guy like that.
Yeah, always, good stories, and, I thought it was at least good to see his name back there. Maybe he can give you a glimmer of hope for 2016 that he can pull something out and give you – because I was talking about that PGA a couple weeks ago, and I was off last week, but if Jordan Spieth could have won that, it would have been 3 out of 4, and then he would have been going for 4 out of 5, and then back-to-back Masters. That would have been unbelievable.
Oh, I apologize. You're right. I was one tournament ahead. The PGA was awesome. Whistling Straits was a great venue. They didn't hose anybody like they put grandstands where Dustin Johnson got hosed years before when he played the ball out of a bunker. There were so many people standing in the bunker he didn't know it was a bunker. But yeah, that was a heck of a lot of fun to watch too. I thought what was great, there was one tree on the entire golf course. Now that's a course that you and I need to play, right? There's only one tree on the whole course. Great. However, if you looked at how many bunkers there were, we could struggle a little bit.
All right, it's our Tuesday with Thompson, with Pete Thompson here every Tuesday on the Sports Bash 97.3 ESPN. As we told you earlier, Flyers hockey coming to South Jersey's sports leader, just another entity, Sixers, Flyers, Eagles, and, of course, the PT here on Tuesdays on our Tuesday with Thompson. And PT, next Tuesday, we're going to be making this like a ritual here. We got a bunch of different things we're going to be announcing in the coming weeks here. We got some great stuff happening in the fall, so we'll make sure that you're a part of that.
Sounds good, buddy. I'll be here.
All right, man. Well, we'll talk soon.
Thanks, Dan. Really appreciate it. And let's go Flyers.
Absolutely. September 17th, training camp.
Okay, sounds good.
I know you'll be all over that. All right, PT. There's our Tuesday with Thompson, with Pete Thompson here on the Sports Bash 97.3 ESPN, our 5